This story was sent to me by Caressing Me Night, and it is coming out of Georgia, where you have these three pigs right here whose names are Michael Howell, Rhett Scott, and Henry Copeland. And these three right here tased this 50-year-old black man by the name of Uri Martin to death back in 2017. And in typical palm-colored protection fashion, these three will not be going to charge. They will not be going to jail, and they have all been giving immunity. Like they say, the complexion for protection, and they have impunity and immunity. Am I surprised even just by that alone? No, I am not. It took these three guys right here to tase this man, and they tased this man to death. And 2 years ago. And this is my first time actually hearing about the story because I didn't know that it even existed. And I had my channel, my original channel, back around that time. Anyway, it says 3 former Washington County Sheriff's deputies will not go on trial for murder next month as planned. That's because the officers want immunity for killing a man under Georgia's, here it is, stand your ground law. I swear that I'm telling you that stand your ground law only works for palm-colored people or those who could pass or who are pushed off on that. And I'm looking over at George Killerman for that. The 3 white deputies, Henry Copeland, Michael Howell, and Rhett Scott, had been facing murder charges for tasing to death 58-year-old Uri Lee Martin, a black man, on a sweltering day in July 2017, an act caught on a cell phone video. Like I tell you, you can record the stuff all you want and they'll still overlook the shit. The decision to grant the men immunity from prosecution came weeks after hearings in which the judge ruled the state stand your ground law protected the officers from prosecution. So if they use "I fear for my life" and or stand your ground, that basically gives them protection. But they swear up and down these individuals have the hardest job in the world. District attorneys for Georgia Middle District Hayward Altman says he plans to argue the law originally intended to allow violence and the protection of life and private property is being misapplied. It most definitely is. That particular code section is more or less a self-defense statute. Uri Martin was unarmed at the time of his death. District Attorney Altman says he plans on filing an appeal to the ruling with the Georgia Supreme Court before Thanksgiving. Like I said, they need to change their slogan from "to protect and serve" to punish and enslave. Because you know that was the quote on one of the Transformers, one of the Decepticons in the first Transformers movie. I keep forgetting his name. I'm sure y'all are going to remind me again. But it was the one that turned into a police cruiser. I think it was Motorcade, something like that. But this again shocks no one. Now, had this been 3 black cops that did this to a white male, hell, if it was 3 black cops that did it to a black man, it could have been this guy. They would not have gotten no immunity. And they said they gave them this immunity after weeks of this trial, when they had all the evidence to charge or hit them with the murder charges. But they decided to go ahead and give them stand your ground. But like they said, that stand your ground is more of a self-defense, not to use in place to murder somebody to get you off. So like the person who's on the side of the Uri Lee Martin, he's right. They are misapplying that law, but they misapply everything to benefit them. And I do mean everything to benefit their narrative. Especially when it comes to us. People swear up and down that racism doesn't exist and that somehow we live in a post-racial society because we had a quote-unquote black president for 8 years. Nah, it's still very much around. This is exactly why, again, I feel absolutely nothing when something happens to them. Like when Michael Johnson did what he did back in 2016, and what Christopher Dorner did what he did back in 2013, and also what Gavin Long did what he did also in 2016. I was like, oh, what's for dinner? That was probably the beginning of my I feel nothing phase, but they'll be back at their jobs again. They just basically got rewarded for killing yet again another black man. Because they always get rewarded for this. And then they always have their little fake ass supporters coming out talking about some goddamn Blue Lives Matter when something like this occurs. But if something happens to them, then it's a whole nother ball game. You see how slanted this damn establishment is? It is very one-sided. Now, of course, when I talk about this and I bring this up, they'll try to say, why are you being so divisive? I'm not being divisive. I'm just telling it like it is. But they like to misapply and misconstrue that word as well as a lot of other things. They misconstrue history. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.